Welcome to part 5 of the final exam review video solutions for Math 101. We're going to look at the chapter 5 problems in this video. Number 1 asks us to multiply. I'm going to go ahead and use the box method, but you can use any method you want that works for you. I didn't give myself enough room there at the top today. Alright, and I got 3x squared plus 2x minus 4. Let's go ahead and put our boxes in there. So I'm going to multiply one term at a time inside of my box. So I got 3x times 3x squared. That's 9x to the third. And 3x times 2x is 6x squared. And 3x times negative 4 is negative 12. And just keep the x. Now looking at the second row, I'm going to multiply everything by negative 5 one at a time. So that's negative 15x squared, negative 10x, and positive 20 with no x. As I write this down, I'm going to go in descending order so I can make sure I collect all the terms. I have 9x to the third, and I have 2x squareds, so that's negative 9x squared, and combining the x's, that's negative 22x, and plus 20 at the end. That's number 1. Alright, number 2 says divide using synthetic division. If you want to do it the long way, you're welcome to. And on my paper, there was a typo, so this should be x plus 2 in the denominator there. That was a mistake on my part. So let's go ahead and write out our synthetic division, set it up. So we're going to change the sign and put it on the outside. So it's just negative 2. And inside we're going to put our coefficients. So I have 2, negative 1 in front of x squared. I don't have an x term, so I'm just going to leave a 0 placeholder there, and a negative 7. Let's go ahead and bring down the first term. That's 2. And multiply 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Adding those together, we get negative 5. Then negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Add those together, we get 10 again. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. Adding those, my remainder is negative 27. So writing it all out, I'm back down to not x to the third, but now x to the second, because I've divided by that. And minus 5 just x, 10 is my constant, and my remainder is negative 27 over the divisor of x plus 2, right there. Alright, number 3 asks us to factor. I'm going to go ahead and give myself some room here at the bottom. First rule of factoring is we're going to look for a common factor, greatest common factor between all these terms. Now I can divide them each by 2, so that's going to come out, and I can take out no x's. I can't take out any x's, but I can take out 1y. Oh no, they each have y squared, so I can take out y squared. Now I am left with 3x squared minus the 2 is gone and the y squared is gone, so just x, and then minus 30, dividing that by 2 and taking away the y squared. Alright, let's scroll down so I can myself up some more room to factor it. Now inside I have a slow trinomial, so I'm going to do the AC method. I'm going to multiply 3, here's a, b, and c, times negative 30, so that's negative 90, and I need 2 terms that will add up to be negative 1x, but multiply to be negative 90. So that's going to be negative 10 and 9. So I'm going to ignore the 2y squared for now, but I'm going to put that back in later. I'm just going to add in negative 10x and positive 9x here in the middle to make that negative 1. We're going to chop it in half. Wah! I'm going to take out what they have in common on each side, so 3x and 10x, or 3x squared minus 10x. I can only take out 1x. I'm left with 3x minus 10. On the right hand side, I know I'm going to have to match that, so I'm going to take out a positive 3. I'm left with 3x minus 10. So I will have 3x minus 10, factoring that out, and the leftovers from the beginning, x plus 3, and from the very beginning of the problem, I now bring back the 2y squared, and now I have completely factored number 3. Alright, number 4 asks if this is a perfect square trinomial. I'm just going to look at that right here. So to look for that, you're going to take the square root of both the first term and the last term and see if they're perfect squares. Yeah, they give me whole numbers, 4x and 5. Now to check the middle term, you are going to want to multiply 4x times 5 and then double it and see if you get the same number. So that is 20x times 2, which is 40. And that means that that trinomial would factor to be 4x and 5 squared. And in the middle, because the b is negative, there would be a minus sign. So because it factors to be that binomial squared and it meets all these requirements, then yes, it is a perfect square trinomial, also known as a trinomial square. Alright, number 5 says to solve. So we're going to use our simplifying and factoring methods to solve number 5. So let's first just distribute that x. Can't do anything with it until we have everything on one side, so let's just go ahead and simplify here. I'll have 2x to the second power minus 11x. Let's go ahead and move the 12 over, so I have a 0 on one side. So from now I'm going to factor. So I have another slow trinomial. 2 times 12 is 24. The two numbers that add to be negative 11 and multiply it to be positive 24 or negative 8 and negative 3. So let's plug those in. Chop it. We can take out a 2x over here. I'm left with x minus 4. And we can take out a negative 3 here and be left with x minus 4 still. So my two factors are x minus 4 and 2x minus 3. Now with factoring we'd be done, but remember on number 5 it asks us to solve, and so we're going to keep solving. We're going to say, okay, what makes that 0 is positive 4, so x equals 4, and then over here, okay, what makes this one 0? Let's solve for x. 2, x equals 3 halves or 1.5. So those are my two answers. I can plug those in the beginning and see if they work. They do. Alright, number 6, we've got some more words. Exciting. Alright. The area of a specific triangle. Okay, we don't know if it's a right triangle, so we don't know if we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm just going to draw just a triangle. The area is 75 square meters. The altitude, so that means height, from the top to the bottom, is 5 meters longer than the base. So let's call that B of the triangle. Find the base and the altitude of the triangle. So that means, again, height. So we need to find both. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. In this case, our area is 75. Let's go ahead and put in what we know about the height. That's plus 5 from the base equals 75. All right, just to get rid of that fraction, let's go ahead and multiply both sides by 2. So that crosses out here. And I have b times b plus 5 equals 75 times 2 is 150. Let's distribute to simplify that side. B squared plus 5b equals 150. Now we've got a quadratic equation, so we're going to move it to one side. Also, by now, you know the quadratic formula, so if you don't want to use factoring on these, definitely don't have to. You can use that or complete the square, because you've already learned about chapter 8. Alright, let's go ahead and factor that. It's a fast trinomial, so we just need numbers that multiply to be negative 150 and add up to be positive 5. So it's going to be b plus 15 and b minus 10 equals 0. So again, we're going to set those equal to 0. We get b equals negative 15 or b equals 10. Now we can't have a negative 15 base of our triangle, so we're just going to ignore that one. Our base is 10. Our height is 5 more than that, so the height is 15, and let's check our units on this one. Meters, so we got 10 meters for the base and 15 meters for the height. Awesome. There you go. That was chapter 5.